And
Again, things like this, people only think they're doing what's right. This situation, Hale back then, Pastel, this is all, they think what they're doing is right.
At least on our side of things. I can't really speak for Pastel and Stink and like Rat Boy or any of them, but I can speak from what I've witnessed.
Pastel deserves a full apology for all the pain you put her through. You don't get to act like she's the one holding on by a thread and needs to just let go, when in reality, she's being chained to the floor and being beaten down by a bunch of 20 to 30-year-olds who took advantage of their power dynamic.
Hello everybody, it is I, Neuroski Quartza, and in today's video we will be covering a much more serious topic than usual. I'm known for my videos on Stovia shippers, defending misanthropony, and just generally roasting idiots on the internet. However, today we'll be covering the harassment of PastelSky. Now, I have covered this topic before. Once in March of last year, and a second time on Gesture's channel a few months later. For those who are unaware, Pastel is a now 18-year-old artist and Twitter user who for the past year or so has been facing multiple counts of harassment on Discord and Twitter due to the fact that she had documented the actions of Twitter artist Alpha Liar into a thread, which Alpha happened to not like. Much of, if not all of this harassment has been documented by Pastel on a Google Doc which was released pretty recently. This document does not skip on the heavy details. Everything will be talked about in this document, and I will not hold back any punches. Every critique I make on these users is out of a strong disdain for their actions and their immoral behavior. Note that I do not encourage you to witch hunt these people. All I suggest is that you block and report them and then move on with your day. With that out of the way, I will give a little trigger warning for flashing lights in case there are any. And you know, of course, the usual stuff which we have been warned about in the first few seconds of this video. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's get into the document. Let's kick it all off with where it began. So, in my original Galactic Spud video, I briefly touched on a supposed Chaggy shipper sending death threats to nervous Alex. This later prompted many Charlister stands to spam the Chaggy tag according to Pastel. Quote, "At first I was wondering why people were mentioning Chaggy because I didn't see anything from the person that said they shipped Chaggy, but then looking at it again, I found out that they were a Chaggy shipper, but being a Chaggy shipper wasn't the issue here, it was the fact that people sent death threats. Some people who supported Alex started to tag the Chaggy tag and started to blame the Chaggy community for that person sending Alex death threats. I wasn't involved much till I saw that these people started to attack people who had an opinion on the situation and not wanting people to tag the Chaggy tag, and some didn't care about the situation, and I defended those people who were being attacked and reminded people what Alex and Alpha have done. Never once did I say it was okay to send death threats to any of these people or condone any death threats to these people." Pastel later made a Twitter thread covering Alpha's tweets about the whole thing, which is what ended up kicking it all off. So, before we check the thread out, let's read the tweets that the thread is based on. Quote, "Apparently PastelSky is insane or going through some domestic violence or something. That's the conclusion I came to coming back to check Twitter after 4 months of me not being active in the fandom at all, because I can't imagine a sane person who is happy with their life and is loved by their close ones being so obsessed with me over a fictional character who has no rights, no feelings, and can't be hurt. Looking at Pastel's unhealthy obsession of drawing a Hitler of me, I imagine Pastel when her father stops wiping the floor of her face, going upstairs to her room, she cries crocodile rivers for an hour, and then tries draining the horrors she's been through in a Twitter drama. That's the only explanation I have, because how can you be so wicked and justify the harassers all the time, accuse the victim who I am in defending myself and justify death threats? The people Pastel always protects are either wish death to me, devoted their Twitter accounts to slander me for a drawing, or called me different slurs and straight up tagging me. But Pastel thinks that victims shouldn't defend themselves, they should swallow all the harassment they've been through, maybe like she does herself at home each day. I can give you the numbers of services that can help you, Pastel. Pastel because I'm not American, but I believe you can ask the horrible bullies you always protect. Just look at this. She's crazy. She's been going on for months. For months, she tries to spread canards about me and draws me a villain for a drawing I made. Lesbophobic, homophobic, supported incest, are you in your right mind? Pastel is just a fandom. These characters are not real. Go touch some grass / snow. Seek help if you are domestically abused or else. It's not normal. You are not normal. You should let it go. I personally let it go months ago. Can you do the same? Let's note how Alpha has no evidence to back her claims at all, and it's pretty rich for her to deflect criticism for supporting incest and lesbophobia, when she herself has had some, let's just say, controversial stances on things like Lolita. And let's also note the fact that she had come to the conclusion that Pastel was being abused, a claim which she cannot back up, and a claim that she herself states that she thought up after seeing Pastel's tweet. How wicked do you have to be to assume something like that with no context or evidence? But oh no, we aren't done. Let's read off Pastel's response, and I will note, this will get a bit long, so brace yourselves. Quote, "Now y'all see why we dislike these people so much? You are going to attack me personally because I called you out on bullshit. You lie about me calling you out. Maybe if you stop with these shitty actions, people would not talk about what you've done. Alpha, people would stop getting upset about a quote drawing you made because you used it for horrible shit. Alpha, I'm gonna need to see a screenshot of me condoning to death threats sent to you or Alex. I have never once wished that upon you because that is a horrible thing to wish upon someone. You can defend yourself, but half of the time is to excuse your shitty behavior. Alpha, I simply spreaded the word about the shit you do. Simple. I'm a pretty sane person by hating those actions you did, right? Actions you haven't owned up to and haven't apologized for after hurting so many people, but oh, I'm the insane one. Also, drawing a Hitler of you? The fuck? Why would I do that? Also, to say I'm going through domestic abuse, to say my dad abuses me and that I cry in my room each day over it, like going through abuse is an insult? Yeah, it's pretty fucking smart of you to say, Alpha. Never once did I say victims can't defend themselves. Half of the time, when someone is trying to defend themselves against your slander, your supporter slander, they are in the wrong. But when I guess it comes to you, that is an issue, right? Stop lying already. Never did I condone those actions. Never did I say victims can't defend themselves. I spreaded the truth on what you've been doing. Stop saying I went through domestic abuse and then I get abused by my dad and use that as an insult against me. This is what people are talking about when they say you are a piece of shit because of actions like this right here. This is why people still talk about what you've done. This is why people remind people of what you've done, especially when you haven't owned up to your issues. Unless you can provide where I wish death upon you or Alex, or said I condone those actions, that I say victims shouldn't defend themselves, then all that you said in this post was a lie. This is once again why people have an issue with you. Grow up, Alpha, and just accept that people aren't gonna like what you did and point out the things you've done. People aren't gonna let go, and that's that, especially when your own supporters use what you've done to hurt others. Maybe keep up the same energy for them too, Alpha. Just a suggestion. Also, I have evidence to you being homophobic and lesbophobic, but we can more clearly see it by your actions. Once again, maybe own up to your actions and apologize for what you've done, and maybe people wouldn't talk about what you've done so much. Same goes for Alex. But knowing you two, you would just keep defending your actions. While you did a very nice job lying here, but I guess you can get an A for effort in trying to defend yourself against what is the truth from your actions, and proceed to lie about people once again, also using abuse as an insult, real smart thing to do, /S. Anyways, this wasn't a smart response, especially when someone calls you out for your actions. You are a grown-ass person, hating on and spreading lies on a minor for calling you out to real mature. Seek help if you are getting domestically abused, or else you are not normal. So I'm not normal for disliking the fact that you are homophobic, lesbophobic, threatening to draw necrophilia, etc. I'd rather not be normal than think that shit is okay. Also, once again, using abuse as an insult. Believe it or not, Alpha, but being abused doesn't mean that people shouldn't hate you for the things you've done. Being abused has nothing to do with this, yet you brought up as a means to insult someone. Also, if this is just a fandom and these are just characters, then why did you throw a tantrum like a child because of Chaggy and the fact that people don't like your actions? You act like no one has screenshots of what you've done. There are plenty of screenshots that show the things you've done. And your response is using abuse to insult someone and whine about harassment when all you do is harass people for not liking Charlester, not liking you, and shipping Chaggy. There is actual proof of the things you've done, yet even if I made a whole essay with proof, you'll still think that what you've done is okay when the things you've done aren't okay. Since this is getting more attention, I would like to say that the situation gets way worse. Trust me on that. Trigger warning for abuse and Nazi. I apologize for not putting the trigger warning when I made the post to begin with. Alpha and their supporters have been saying horrible stuff about me and others. The supporters even talk sexual about me even after knowing I'm a minor. They said I need a doctor and a therapist, and posted pictures of padded cells, called me slurs, and said my whole existence is a slur. Alpha even joined in on some of this by saying that I've guessed your little secret about abuse because they tried to use me saying that it sucks to see people saying stuff about you as evidence that I am being abused. Also saying that I'm crazy and said abused little head, and etc. They even called someone I know a Nazi, defended death threats even after someone that they were defending during that situation admitted to wishing death on that person, said services should be called, said that someone should DM me about numbers I can call for abuse as a joke. Deflected the evidence I showed them and said that if I didn't provide screenshots that I lied, yet they don't even provide evidence of them saying I condone death threats when I ask for evidence. Okay, so this was already a mess with this thread because it shows how Alpha is not above deflection. However, let's just go ahead and point out something. Pastel was only 17 at the time. Alpha is somewhere around her mid to late 20s to maybe early 30s. I'm gonna let that info marinate in your mind just so you can get a sense of the severity of the situation. If you as a grown woman are taking the time to try and roast a minor and make up stories about how they're being abused, then you have failed as a human being. But oh no, we are done, and I'm gonna be saying that a lot throughout this video. So, Pastel later posts a link to a Twitter thread about the Discord messages from the server. Now, I'm gonna have you guys look at them for yourself because I don't feel like looking through all of that stupidity and making my job harder. I will only note the infamous screenshots that have been echoed across the internet and nothing more. Read them off here. Now, even if you meant this as a joke, Ejix, you still made sexual jokes about a minor, and the argument that they didn't know she was a minor doesn't apply here, because here is Mouser, just hours earlier, saying how Pastel was whooping out the minor card. And you know, there's of course more acknowledgement of Pastel's age which you can read on screen. You can always say that these screenshots are out of context, but I challenge you to provide me with the context. Plus, the Twitter thread that I have linked below, containing all these screenshots, provides more than enough context. There are also multiple calls where Spud and the others basically act like total jackasses, so let's move on to those.
Because a lot of stuff on Twitter, it gets missed. It gets misinterpreted. It gets just completely out of hand. And this is part of why I'm doing this right now, is because I want to set the record straight on what's been happening. At least on our side of things. I can't really speak for Pastel and like Rat Boy or any of them, but I can speak from what I've witnessed, what I've said. Because I feel like I am being misrepresented in the fandom, and it's just not fair that we're getting total flack for something that should have just stayed private in the first place.
Alright, so here's where I can now butt in and speak from what I have witnessed. Spud, I have witnessed you deflect many, many times. I even made a whole video dedicated to it. Now, because Spud is fond of not addressing situations, allow me to explain what exactly went down. Pastel was sexualized when she was a minor. To our knowledge, Spud, you did nothing about it. You allowed these people to make these jokes, and these people remained in the server. You later tried to claim that no one knew Pastel was a child, but we have screenshots proving otherwise. And I think that about covers it pretty well.
Well, I mean, people, things like this, people only think they're doing what's right. This situation, Hale back then, Pastel, this is all, they think what they're doing is right. And for that,
honestly,
I can't fault
Hale
them,
and
because they
Pastel,
think that they're doing what's right, and I'm going to keep repeating that. They think they're just, and that they're helping their community, and whether they are or not, I guess in the eye of the beholder. And I'm not going to argue with them anymore, because there's no point in arguing with someone who, till the very end, thinks that what they're doing is right. And there's no point in arguing. You can't please anyone, you can't change everyone. Fine. I'm going to mute myself now, because I've been talking, and I've taken up the chat.
Alright.
If you couldn't recognize that voice, That was that salty Bobcat butting in, saying how she supposedly doesn't fault Pastel and everyone else for doing what they think is right. Well, I'll have you know that the behavior exhibited by you was abhorrent, and them calling you out is actually the right thing to do. Meanwhile, you seem to think that the right thing to do is harass the people you have attacked. Let me add that you are in no position to dictate what is right and what is wrong when you have depicted drawn content romanticizing cheating. By the way, I've seen much better.
Again, not a lot of people knew that Pastel was a minor. I myself never saw him as a minor.
Her.
Oh,
I never saw her as a minor. I actually thought that she was much older than she looked. Older than she acted.
Yeah, I knew.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, a minor can act like an adult, but that does not change the fact that they are a minor. Basing someone's age off of how they act is fucking stupid. It is idiotic. And even if Pastel was an adult, you don't say that! Because you know what that comes off as? It comes off as sexual harassment. If you did that in the workplace, you'd be fired. And maybe be taken to court. By the way, need I bring up the numerous screenshots hours before the comment was made proving that you knew Pastel was a minor? Let me say this. The lewd comment made by Ajax was made at around 9:08 a.m. At 6:16, 3 hours prior, Chief Mouser talks about minors being held responsible for their behavior online. 40 minutes later, they talk about Pastel needing child services. And over 50 minutes later, Mouser talks about how Pastel whips out her minor ID. That was a 3-hour gap between that and the comment made by Ajax. 3 hours. In that 3-hour gap, you and several other people acknowledged that Pastel may not be as old as you think she is. And by the way, I think you got off scot-free with her being 17, because had she been much younger, oh boy, you'd definitely be catching something.
I think Pastel should learn that, again, art isn't for everyone. I want to draw stuff. I'm garbage. I do want to draw some pretty dark stuff, and I know, but I am writing dark stuff, so, and I know it's not going to be for everyone. I mean, there's a lot of dark stuff I've read, and there's always going to be angry comments. I listen to songs sometimes that gain a lot of controversy, say that, oh, this is racist, anti-Semitic, but people don't look at it as... Now, I'm going to put an example. There's a band I like called Sabaton. They made at least 2 songs about Nazi Germany and 1 song about the Holocaust. It's just an example. And there were many people that thought, dude, this is a pretty deep song. They did it out of respect. They didn't do it out of money. They didn't do it out of greed. They really didn't do it to say a message and tell a story. But many people out there thought, this is just, they're doing this for money. They're doing this for a bunch of clout. And an interview with one of them, and while there were many comments that were nice, there were many comments down there that were just, like I said, extremely toxic, and were looking at it in the wrong way. They thought it was something that supported anti-Semitism, or something they did for like money. But like I said, it was something to say a message, and to sing something to respect those who lost their lives in those horrible events. People look at things always the wrong way. I myself always have done that. I look at something and I thought, oh, this is just something. And it really is something interesting. That was just an example. That wasn't something that really happened. That was just an example.
There's always going to be somebody that's going to take something wrong, and you're never going to please everybody. It's impossible.
Definitely got a taste of that on Twitter.
There's a big problem with your comparison there, buddy. What you described was a bunch of musicians being edgelords. What people are angry about are your little Charlister cretins romanticizing the dark works, with some even drawing it as porn. If you want to make dark works, that's perfectly valid, but when you take it to the extent to where now your entire fandom is ostracized for the fucked up things that you do, that's when you should realize that you screwed up. Listen, I personally like some dark shit myself. I like games like Alice Madness Returns, Resident Evil, etc. Those games are known for being dark or handling dark themes, but you know the difference between those and the shit you're trying to defend? Those games don't romanticize those subjects. At all. They don't glorify it, they don't make it so, ooh, quirky. You know what they do? They just look fucked up. That's all the games do. Meanwhile, your works are just triggering the entire internet. And I don't mean that in like a derogatory way, I mean that in the sense that they are literally triggering people's triggers. So, yeah. That was all from Call 1. I want to go ahead and link the rest of the calls below. I'm not going to point them out here because I don't feel like listening to almost 2 hours of stupidity. But yeah, let's move on to the second call. This is a call with Spud, William, and some other people in it, aka a bottom of the barrel call. You know this is gonna be good.
Alright.
She's 21.
I see.
And at the time,
Well-
she didn't know that she was a minor, but here's the thing though. Pastel recently turned 18. Now this doesn't make it okay, what was said. But here. I'll show you exactly what was said. And I can even show you that Adjix didn't know, at least what they tell me is that they didn't know. And I'm willing to take them at their word because honestly I don't believe that they'd willingly make a comment like that towards a minor.
If you find out that Adjix lied to you, what are you gonna do?
I will be a little upset.
Okay.
But after all this, I just want to walk away, dude. I didn't want any of this.
First off, you lost every right to walk away when you enabled this behavior from people like Ajax. By the way, Ajax knew of Pastel's age. Do you want me to show the screenshots again? Also, let's note how you said that if you found out Ajax lied, you'd only be a little upset. If I find out that a friend lied about something that big, if they lied about basically sexually harassing a child, I'd be more than a little upset, I'd be fucking furious. Spud, if you want to be able to walk away, I suggest you find your integrity.
You and your friends are sitting here acting sanctimonious as fuck right now, and you're calling people retarded. You're calling people, oh, this person can't handle it. Pastel can't handle it by herself. And it doesn't matter whether you stopped. You acted so sanctimonious, and then you all ganged up on them and said, oh, well, let's just report their Twitter for flagged content and for fake flagging. You did that, and you want to come in here and act like you didn't do anything wrong. You did. You did something wrong. You're acting sanctimonious by coming in here and contacting Leo. You acted sanctimonious on your Twitter account when you were saying, oh, guys, just block and report people. You should have done that from the very beginning, not gone on this little tirade. You recognize it now because you got called out. You didn't recognize it back then. So you need to take a step off your high horse and realize you done fucked up.
Please tell your friend
I'm
William.
saying that. I fucked up, okay? I'm sorry.
Please tell your friend William to get.
I only included this here to give you a sense of hope and reinstate your faith in the human race. You're welcome.
I never saw it as a bad word. Me and my friends used to use it all the time, that's how we showed affection to each other. I never saw it.
Son, put down the Thomas choo-choo and pay attention. My point is lack of consistency. My point is you not being able to see the bigger picture. And my point is your severe inability to understand the context of optics. If you don't want to be seen as a dirtbag, don't do dirtbag things thinking no.
Also included this here for shits and giggles, but allow me to emphasize on the point made there. This is advice that I would give to everyone I talk about, including Spud, so if you are watching, I'm going to suggest that you listen up, because I'm going to give you the advice Lyle pointed out. If you don't want to be seen as an asshole, don't be an asshole. Do not act like an asshole, because when that comes out, and it will come out whether you want it to or not, people will come for you. So, to Charlister shippers, if you don't want to be seen as an asshat, don't be an asshat. So far, I've seen most of you following this rule, which is why I'm good friends with Charlister shippers. Well, some Charlister shippers at least. Use that as your moral compass, and keep your values consistent.
Came to me and they said, let's talk. I would be more than welcome to. Or more than not welcome to. More than happy to. Because this got way too out of hand for what?
Come on.
For what?
Oh, come on. What got out of hand? Some fucking random nobodies on the internet got mad? That's it. That's all that happened.
Oh,
Is
no.
that-
You don't.
I have a question. Did anyone call your job and try to get you fired?
No.
Did anyone call your family and tell them what you were doing?
No.
Did anyone call your friends, IRL friends, I'm not talking social media friends, IRL friends, and try to get them to actually stop being friends with you because of what you did?
These are oddly specific, and no.
Yeah, no, note how they all claim that it got out of hand, which is later followed by Coyote asking a series of questions, which is like, well, did they call your job? Did they call your family? And I'm going to expand on that as well, because that is a very good point. See, if none of us tried to call your job to get you fired, or called your family to notify them, that's not out of hand. If none of us showed up at your door, that's not out of hand. If none of us harassed you in real life, that's not out of hand. As much as we would like to uppercut you in the fucking jaw, we can't, and we won't. So, that's not out of hand. What you call out of hand is people on the internet being fed up with your behavior. This is Twitter drama. This is something that you can handle as adults. However, when you try to handle things, they seem to backfire, so I guess being idiots on the internet has its downsides. So, yeah, you can't handle the situation that you caused. Too bad. So sad. Now that we've got the calls out of the way, let's move on to more Twitter things, because this situation does get worse. Alright, so before we get into more degeneracy, I'd like to hereby instill a little checkpoint here. Here you can take some time to get a snack, get some water, or go to the bathroom and wash out the stupid from your brain. Alright, with that out of the way, let's begin with Ajax backpedaling and trying to damage Ash's reputation. Quote, "This person is haunting me all the time. I don't know you, and I didn't even know you were a kid. I didn't say dirty things about you. Stop lying. I also apologized to you in public because I saw you felt uncomfortable with it, and so did I. This drama happened a few months ago, and I would never have hurt a child intentionally. Also, this person is a hypocrite because they support other assholes including Eden, Ashes, or Lana, but only hates me because I like Charlister and I used to have contact with Alex and Alpha. I clearly said that I do not support Alex and Alpha because they deal to the fandom and other fans was gross." I can only assume that the other two people are, well, I guess named Lana and Eden. Eden is a suck-up jackass. As for the other person, I can't really say, but here's the thing, you're not better than either them or Ashes, Ajax. You made a lewd joke about a minor and tried to backpedal saying that you would never do that to a child intentionally. You are pathetic. And here, we have quite the interesting screenshot. You know, this is one that I posted on my Twitter, as a matter of fact. Quote, "I'm disappointed that people are still harassing me, lol." And here we have fucking Danny Draws saying, "I'm sorry there are people gunning for you, honestly people need to step outside." Electric Bell, I believe you owe me a fucking apology for accusing me of attacking Danny. Anyways, here we have a user known as EFEN acting like an idiot. And by the way, EFEN had participated in Pastel's harassment, so you know what, let's go ahead and get into this. Quote, "This is getting too far. I humbly request a favor to report this account for posting private stuff, please. This person can hate us as much as they want, but posting our private shit is really fucked up. Could you imagine if this person could infiltrate into your private stuff too?" Oh, if only you knew the half of it. Because Pastel wasn't, the one leaking your shit. But you know what, I won't say anything. I'll just let you all flounder around there. Also, it's perfectly okay to talk about Pastel's private life, make stories about her being abused, and talk about her supposed kings. All of that is fine and dandy by your logic. Posting screenshots from a Discord server is off limits? Yeah, no. By the way, Alpha had posted a link to the Discord server you claimed was private, you fucking clown. You can see the screenshot on screen right here. Anyways, next up, we have a screenshot from the Darling Owlette. Note that the Darling Owlette had apologized for harassing Pastel, and we used to be mutuals, however, had parted ways out of respect for Pastel. However, yeah, I don't think I can excuse this shit, so, you know, allow me to read it off. Quote, "Hold on, WTF? Pastel, what is wrong with you? Have you gone full stalker mode? Listen to yourself for a second, trying to call strangers on Discord who can easily put you in your place, and putting this information out to the public for what, to get clout. Pastel, if you need someone to talk to, my DMs are always opened. We can talk about this unhealthy obsession. No joke, I'm serious, I'm very worried." Owlette, you are no older than me, from what I've heard. Allow me to point out how you, of all people, think that you are in any place to attack Pastel by saying she's obsessing and lives for drama. Yet you basically engaged in said drama by making these tweets. Dear God. You sound so fucking stupid. I fail to see the logic in that. Also, what clout could Pastel possibly get from this? If she was doing it for clout, she wouldn't be publicly posting screenshots. Hell, she wouldn't have posted this document in the first place. She could have been able to float on the attention alone if she was doing it for clout. She wouldn't be taking it to this extent, and also, there wouldn't be screenshots about it. And, you know what? Here's another new figure into the story, named Macho Martian. Let's see what they say. Quote, did Ajax make a mistake? Yes, they did. They've since apologized and said that they didn't know about Pastel's age. What they said wasn't okay, but they've since dealt with it and apologized, and yet they still got attacked by this person and their buddies. They still harass Spud. The sheer cojones, the audacity, the gall, the temerity, the whatever the hell comes after that. It wasn't a mistake. It's like if you rob a bank and call it a mistake. Oh no, officer, I didn't mean to sexually talk about that 17-year-old. It was a mistake. You know how stupid that sounds, right? And by the way, Spud is a horrible apologizer. I witnessed the threat myself. I made a video about it. I can tell you, from reading it, it was horrible. Anyways, I want you to go back and look through the video so you can get the message in your dense skull that they were aware. They've been aware this whole time. And, it gets worse. Because here is Mitaki Kozakura saying this, quote, that's a really fucked up thing to do. Why would you do that? Waste your time on this kind of shit if you don't like them. You can easily block them. Yes, it's a fucked up thing to talk about, but by the looks of it, they were just ranting. Yes, I did read it all. It's just ranting. What you called sexual were jokes. I found them funny. If you found rude jokes made towards a minor funny, you deserve to be locked in an asylum and have the key thrown away. By the way, they weren't jokes. Jokes actually have meaning, unlike your existence. And now, we will get into one of Pastel's responses to Ajax, and here's the whole thread that Pastel is responding to. Quote, if I had known, I would have never written something like that because I know it's wrong, and when others chatted about it, they were saying it was as a joke, so I wasn't sure. I'm really sorry and it won't happen again. Please stop harassing me and let me enjoy the things that I love. I myself have minor friends and I would never hurt them. This was my one mistake. Besides, Pastel was the first to call adults and this was the result of such bad behavior. So if you're here for me in my art, I hope you'll stay with me till the end.
I will send you to Jesus.
Anyways, jokes aside, let me give you some advice, Ajax. If you want to prove your innocence, don't blame the child that you blatantly sexualized. Let me tell you something else. If you're still with those minors, I suggest you get them as far away from you as possible. If you haven't already done that, of course. And after that, I suggest you find your integrity wherever the hell you left it and hit the ground running and never come back. And now, for Pastel's response, and by the way, this will of course be very long, so I will skip over some sections as usual. Quote, first off, yes, you did know I was a minor. They were calling me a minor, they were calling me a kid. There's even a screenshot of them posting my account where it says I was a minor, and you were in those conversations, you knew. Yeah, when I blocked you, I didn't have minor in my bio yet, that was months ago, but I put it in there after a bit. I had a minor in my bio for a long time. Considering how much you and your friends stalked me, I highly doubted you didn't know I was a minor. You were also a part of it. Also, if you didn't know I was a minor, then why the hell would you go ahead and say sexual stuff anyways if you don't know someone's age? Also, that's still sexual harassment even if I was a minor or not. Second, excuse me, I called you adults because that's what you are, adults. Most of you were doing that stuff, so me calling you adults is wrong. You guys are grown adults and stalked and harassed me for months. Months. I was even pointing out how you are grown adults stalking and harassing and saying all this gross stuff when I was a minor. You guys knew that you were reading the stuff that they said you knew I was a minor. There is way too much evidence to prove you didn't know. You are a grown-ass adult. Take accountability and stop with these defenses. You knew I was a minor. Also, find it funny how these people want to claim that I'm harassing them and want to stop when they stalked and harassed me for months and didn't stop when I told them to stop. This wasn't a mistake. Stop calling it a simple mistake. Why the fuck are her followers forgiving her when they aren't the ones to be forgiving it? Also, Pastel was the first to call adults, and as a result of that bad behavior, how about this, Ajax? You should have been a responsible adult, you shouldn't have done this shit, but I guess it's my fault because I called you out, huh? It shouldn't have resulted in this. But you guys didn't think you were gonna get caught, so you did this anyways. You got caught, and that's why you feel sorry. No, I will not apologize to Ajax. For what? Why should I apologize to her? For calling out how she knowingly talked sexually about a minor's wet dreams about alpha and shippers for her stalking and harassing me. You'll think this is the only time she harassed people, because she has done this stuff in the past. She knew I was a minor. If you are forgiving her, then is it her place to forgive her? It's mine, and I don't forgive her. Stop victim blaming already. Stop playing the victim. It's ridiculous. And to finish this off, here's Salty being, well, salty as usual. Quote, "To those who said and done hurtful things to me out of anger, know that I forgive you. I know what you're doing, what you think is right, and I will not fault you for sticking to your morals. We're just different people, and I'm not going to change that. Take care. I want to take steps towards burning bridges that were burned between me and others in the Charleston community. I want to take steps to better myself and my anger. The previous admin is no longer there and has passed ownership to me, and in the coming days I will take measures to make sure what has happened before will never happen again. I'm always stuck between wanting to fix everything, and that's sometimes it's better for everyone to just let it go, to understand sometimes I went too far and can't fix things, and take it as a learning experience to be a better person in the future." I swear, if I had $1 for every deflection in this video, I'd be able to afford Animal Crossing. I mean, it's not much, but hey, it's something, you know? Anyways, it's time to get into the depravity. The true fuckery. The majority of the document. The DMs. Alright, so allow me to go ahead and cover some DMs made by these absolute idiots, and a special DM conversation which you will see later on, and will depict another side of the story. And also, this will contain a lot of stupidity, so prepare yourselves. So the first set of screenshots is related to a user known as Balroy. Balroy had reached out to Pastel on Discord only to be blocked soon after, which resulted in Balroy reaching out to Pastel on Twitter. Quote, "Hey, I gotta tell you something. Well, you know that doc guy from the server? That's me and I want to help you. I mean, I've already sent you those pics of the server. I can get you some of the evidence from the server they have now, but it's going to take me some time. Also, if he shows to anyone, they aren't going to believe you, lol. I already made them hate one person whose account I took over and made everyone turn on them, so I'll just say it's that person and they'll believe it over whatever you say on here. So it's what's going to be, Pastel. Either you agree, or I take over your accounts and make you an outcast from this fandom. Give me one chance to help you. I'll create some screens that will frame that doc guy and look so realistic and no one can tell they were fake. Please, I want to help, and getting one of them to leave will help you. Please don't do that. It wouldn't do good. Your support is helpful enough to me. I appreciate wanting to help, but I don't want to do that. Okay, sorry. It's okay, I just don't think that will be a good idea. Okay, just shooting ideas. It's okay. I see what they have done and just want them gone so you and others can finally be at peace. I know, but I'm healing and so are others. Hopefully, thank you, I appreciate your support." So this was followed by Balroy later reaching out to Pastel on Twitter due to, I guess, some conflicts between, you know, Pastel and Balroy, resulting in Pastel blocking Balroy on Discord. Quote, "Lol, okay, have it your way, just trying to help, and that hell ghost guy who you think it was now, fucking idiot, come on, show it all so that we can bully another guy more. What do you want from me? Why bother me about this? Just to have fun, lol, I know what you're going to do, going to show the messages in your evidence, but that's what I want from you. Then I can permanently get rid of someone I've been trying to get rid of since January. They'll believe anything I say, lol, and then you'll get more evidence from me. So what is your goal here? To try to use me to take someone else down? That's stupid. Absolutely stupid. You can call it that, but it already worked. They all hate him for fake photos I made and sound from his account. Rude Bones is already hated by them now, and with your help, I can get everyone against him." What? You said you had someone to pin this all on, so why do you want my help? Why not just do it yourself? If you have all the stuff, I don't want to frame someone, I don't want to fake screenshots, who are you even? Too bad, already faked them for you and sent them on his account. Idiot basically told us his info to log in, and it's all on his account, so easy to frame him. So I said it on Discord. What are you talking about? Why involve me in this? I don't understand what you're really trying to do here. Also, if you're a doctor, then why text me before that you wanted to fake screenshots and pin it on Doctor? Why would you do that if you are him? Did that on the guy's account that I want to get rid of. They found out it was fake, and that's why they hate the guy now. So if you make it public, then they will think you are talking to him, and they already know it's fake, so more hate at him. All this is trying to make it look like Rude Bones did all this to get everyone to hate him while not suspecting me, and they're stupid enough where I can just say it's him, and they believe it without second guessing it. They, like children, trust everything I say. LMAO, it's funny. If you are a doctor, why expect me to help you after all the things you did to me and other people? That's ridiculous. Don't. That's why I'm offering you more evidence for your help in this. What evidence are you offering? Fake screenshots? How will that help me at all? If you are a doctor, why would you want to help me? And if you are him, you know things he's done to me and how he is. It looks like he would have never helped me. Yeah, I know you're a pain to us, but at this point, rather work with you to get him completely out of this fandom before any of them realize what's happening. Either you help me get rid of Rude Bones and make it look more real than it really is, or I just create a fake of you and do it that way, but no evidence for you. Oh my god. I'm already having trouble with this because this is already so fucking stupid. Okay. If you are a doctor, then prove it. Prove you're him then. Also create a fake of me, as in you'll create screenshots of me with me in it. I'm stuttering. I'm legit stuttering. This hurts. Do you know how stupid that sounds? Like anyone would believe you doing that? Especially after these messages? Come on, you can't be that ridiculous. I don't get why you didn't do it on your own in the first place. You don't need my help and I don't want to help. If you were so confident you would have just done it already, but you want to pin the blame on me for faking shit. I'm not that stupid to fall for that shit. That's exactly what I want, because then I can just say to them it's Rude Bones talking to you and they're stupid enough to believe that. Who are you talking about? Who is stupid enough to believe your plan? And you completely dodged me asking for you to show proof that you are him. It's almost as if you aren't really him at all. If I show proof, it won't work how I want it to. They need to believe me, or believe it's someone else and not me, and giving you proof wouldn't allow that to happen. And the people talking about those ones in your pinned comment, Ajax, Kathachan, Chief, Mauser, how do you want me to show you proof then? Why are you even doing this in the first place besides trying to pin blame onto someone talking about those in my pinned tweet? I don't know, just show any type of proof that you are him. You already admitted to being him, so why can't you just show me proof anyways? What type? Any is too broad, and I want to get rid of him because if he finds out I've been messing with him on his account, then I'm done for. Draw Alistair as proof then. Who's them? So you just want to get rid of him because of someone else. The people left in the server is them. I don't draw anymore, lost the motivation for it because of this fandom. Okay, so I've been using Rude Bones' account to hurt his reputation, i.e. been using them to make him look bad. He hasn't been on and just got back. He uses Instagram and Snapchat to get pics of his real life to convince that it was him. If they find out it was me, well, it's not very good. What proof do you want me to show that proves you are actually a doctor? But why hurt his reputation in the first place then? I keep saying it. If I don't get him out of here and he finds out what I've been doing on his accounts and can show proof it's actually me, then I'm out. I lose all the relationships I've built up over the past year to BHIDK. I can tell you some things about myself to prove it's me, it will work. But why go onto his accounts anyways? Why go in his accounts and do stuff anyways? Also, sure, go ahead and try to prove it's you, doctor. Because it's funny, lol. That's just how we were causing chaos for laughs. Plus, never really liked him anyways. Also, I don't know how to say it's weird. He had a hard time realizing things and it just got on my nerves that all it's gonna take is my name. So you are doing this for fun then. Also, if you're him, then do you remember what you said when you sexualized me? Like specifically said, or at least what it was about. Yeah, I'm sorry for that. Yeah, messing with people I hate like this is fun. Okay. Then what specifically did you say that sexualized me? If you know, then surely you know what you said, right? Since you said you remembered what you said. You mean your Russian kink or about Ajax? No, not specifically, that was 9 months ago. How the fuck does anyone remember exactly? Alright, now you say you are in the new server or whatever, right? How do you know you aren't just bullshitting about that? What, you want screenshots? Not until it's done. Till what's done? The fake screenshots? No, I'm not giving you the screenshots till they hate him even more. All you gotta do is include some of these convos, like part of admitting who I am, and the part of hacking Rude Bones accounts. Then, when that's shown in your evidence list and they see it, I say it's not me, it's him, then boom, you get your screenshots of evidence from the newish server. You're bullshitting, right? How can you expect me to believe that? You got me admitting to who I was and what I did, so you got shit against me that I don't want people seeing. What do you mean by admitting that? Also, if you are a doctor, then most of the shit you say is already out there, so I don't know what you don't want coming out. Admitting it, I don't know what autocorrected. I'm just gonna take that you are bullshitting and you have no actual screenshots from the new server. You'll get them when it's done and he's gone. I ain't gonna give you any of them till you do what I'm telling you. And what would you have me do? Not that I'm agreeing to doing this. If you could just fake screenshots, why not just fake putting me in there? Because if I just fake it, it won't look real. It needs to look like it's him trying to imitate me talking to you. And if I showed them this, they know it's me because Rude Bones doesn't have my Discord. So if I show you, it looks more real. TBH is just getting too much at this point. Just ignore all this shit and leave me out of it. You are the one that dragged me into your bullshit. You are the one that made a fake account and tried to be friends with me for a while and then suddenly threatened me, trying to convince me to take someone down with fake screenshots and more. You are the one trying to get involved. This is getting too much after the shit you threatened me with, after wanting to fake screenshots to get someone taken down for fun. Now it's getting to be too much for you. I feel like you're bullshitting at this point. I mean, from the beginning it was obvious bullshit what you were saying. You are even dodging me, showing me proof. You won't even show me actual evidence you are in that server, and you clearly don't act like Doctor at all. I'm not gonna frame and take someone down because you want to have fun, and to make people hate someone. Doing that would put me closer to the level of these people did to me, and I'm not gonna be a shitty person like they were, whatever. Doctor wouldn't have said sorry to something like this, considering how he acted in the Discord DMs and etc. I think so anyways. None of these people are truly sorry. I think so anyways from what I've seen so far from most of them, except one person who actually apologized, and they only made a few comments and weren't even involved that much, yet they apologized and I forgave them. You aren't being very believable here, Rude. Leave people alone, leave me alone. Want to post fake screenshots? Go ahead, post the fake screenshots. People will know it's absolute bullshit and not believe you, Rude. Again, leave me and other people alone. And here we have Rude Bones on an alternate account, or not even Rude Bones, Balroy. Well, you're right. I don't care about you, and I'm not sorry about what you said, cunt. You're a tool to be used to get what I want, and that's all you'll ever be to everyone in your life. And good, believe that I'm rude. That's what I want from you. That's what I want the lie to be. Now continue getting beaten by your father and keep on with your Russian kink. Here, Alpha and Alex are free these days, so might want to give them a call. Lol, they'll hit you harder than your father ever could, and you'll enjoy every. You can't hear it right now, but I'm physically cringing. This hurts to read. So, let me get this straight, Balroy. Pastel blocks you on Discord. After that, you resort to hopping onto Twitter to pull her into your elaborate bullshit. And then when she refuses, you hop onto an alt and insult her because you're so salty and depressed that the only joy you get is from harassing young girls on social media. You are pathetic. But oh no, it gets much worse. Just, you're about to see. So here we have an account known as Real Radion Demon, and from what I could remember, they used to be associated with our old friend Bethany. So that should give you a sense of what exactly this has all gone to. Quote, Pastel, I've talked with those who mistreated you and they are deeply sorry. I'm not trying to attack you. They said they are sorry and that they know what they did was wrong, but please stop making what happened in the past public again. If you need to vent, go talk to someone you trust. I'm sure they will help you. We understand what some of us did was wrong and we are sorry. Can we please put the drama behind us? You are not the authority on who Pastel can and cannot forgive. I feel like I should make that clear because some people do not understand. And here, we have a more prolific artist, Cosmic Brownie. I don't care how old they are. If you're acting stupid, I'm gonna clown on you. I want to make that very clear for people. If you do stupid shit, I will clown on you. Got it? Good. Quote, Ajax has apologized to you not knowing you were a minor at the time. Obvious bullshit. I've proved that many times in this video. I don't want to involve myself in the situation, but I feel like it's important to say that Ajax made a mistake and she feels sorry for what she did when you were a minor. I'm honestly on the neutral side of the situation, so I listen to both sides. Doesn't sound like it considering how much you want to try and defend Ajax. I get that it may be hard to forgive someone who has said shitty things to you without knowing you were a minor, but you haven't forgiven her for anything. She can't do much now other than acknowledge what she did was wrong and apologize for her mistakes. Anyways, it wasn't an apology. If you saw that post she made, then you would have known it wasn't one. I can show you proof of it, especially when she goes back on it and says she never said anything dirty about me at all. Ajax knew. I have no doubt about it, considering the amount of evidence against her and other people. She doesn't feel sorry. Know what the post she made not too long ago, saying I'm insane and lying about what happened. So many people believe the lies she has told now. She didn't apologize. She blamed me. She even labeled it discipline. How can I expect her to be sorry when she continues with blaming me any chance she gets? Do you know what you post caused me? The amount of messages and comments I got went too fucking far. How she made it look as if I encouraged someone to call her a pedo on Tumblr when I never did. How can I expect her to feel sorry for any of it, especially when lies and lies and lies keep happening? I had someone even tell me to kill myself over this shit. How can I expect that? She lied saying that she never talked dirty about me, yet there is proof of her admitting it. There's too much shit going on, she hasn't apologized, and she isn't sorry for the amount of times she's attacked me. All I did was make a post about it, about boundary, so I can protect myself, and she made a post lying about me again and calling me insane. An apology isn't going to make any of that trauma go away. It isn't going to pop into thin air, because if she gave a shitty apology that the victim blamed me and etc., I can't believe her. Now with all the shit that's been going on that is driving too close to the fucking edge, all I wanted was to heal to feel better, but it seems that most of these people can't handle the fact that I want to feel better. Well, that escalated quickly. I'll say this. If you're trying to say that the person who sexually harassed a child, well, knowing they were a child, by the way, is sorry, that's not being neutral. That's called throwing them a pity party. If you're still going to support this artist in light of what I just read off, then the door's that way. Right there. Door's that way.
Spud was projecting the entire time. The claims of manipulation, the claims of slander, which would actually be libel if she was right, all that BS, she was doing the same shit in the very same thread she made those claims in. What makes me angry is she clearly wanted us to turn on each other by saying that me and Ashes were not to be trusted, while talking down to you as if you were stupid. She took one tweet where I joked about being an 80s sitcom bully and presented it as proof that I think it's a game to try and ruin other people's lives, as if this is Power Rangers or some shit. Like she didn't even try to be subtle about villainizing me. And don't get me started about her statement on hurt. This is where she talked down to you the most, trying to make you empathize with her so you drop it or some shit. I know hurt. I understand hurt. Oh really, Spud? You know? Then why did you defend your bestie here for saying that the hurt she imagines Pastel going through was a beautiful image and treating it like an effing riot? I want to hear Spud read those screenshots and utter the words I know hurt, just for the record, because I know damn well that she couldn't if she tried. The way she talked as well was as if you claimed you were being hurt, when you literally never did, and Alpha was the only person saying that shit. And she recommended you just move out as if it'll solve all of your problems. Like, gee, thanks Spud, finding a roommate will definitely solve all the harassment your bestie targeted at someone just because she didn't like them. And the BS about how you became an adult after the inappropriate comments were made, so that means they're fine? Like, F off. Even if you had been an adult at the time, it's still effing weird to talk about the wet dreams and kinks of someone you don't effing know. Plus, you were 17, and based on the fact that in the server, minors have green names, and none of the people making those comments had green names, we can safely say that they were adults. And finally, there's the claim that me and Ashes supposedly supported people wishing blank on Alex when they caught COVID. Not only was Alex not involved in the situation, we literally never stated our support for those statements, and there's no proof that we did. Spud wants to accuse me of slander as if she didn't literally spread libel about us for the sake of furthering her narrative that we couldn't be trusted. Another thing, Spud did not have to get involved, period. She acted as if this was a personal attack against her, when the people we were calling out were Alpha and her cronies, not Spud. Spud wants to complain about the minor card constantly, as if it's somehow morally reprehensible to say, "I'm underage, please stop," when you're being harassed and dogpiled by a group of adults speculating about your hurt and inappropriate life. But the second anyone does something she deems wrong, she immediately whips out her slander card. "You have a 22,000-word document of proof that my friend harassed a teenager with a potentially traumatic situation? That's slander. F off. Also, just to be a B, it's libel. If you're gonna try to get legal about it, use the right terminology. I'm gonna try not to get involved publicly unless Alpha's cronies rise from their sleep again. I'll continue to help behind the scenes if that's what you need. I'm sorry that this is so long. I'm still quite angry about it."
Okay, so when it comes to this situation, it's overall pretty messy. You have a lot of constant deflection from these people publicly and also in private. You have them going out of their way to harass and silence their victims. It's all just a complete clusterfuck. And you wanna know the worst part? Even after they've been called out, even after the document was released containing all the info from this very video, they still hold the sort of innocence that they think they have. And you know what? Fuck them. Because this video is just a whole record. Before I close this little, whole video off, allow me to read a little block list I have here. These are people who were either directly or indirectly involved with the situation, whether they contributed to Pastel's harassment or condoned or defended the behavior, and those who exhibited said behavior. Alpha Liar, Hating Alex or Nervous Alex, Ajax0303, EFEN 2109, That Salty Bobcat, Beat on My Mito, Kneecap Naked, Soylo Mahuni, Galactic Spud, or now Has Been Hostess, and of course Galactic Spud, Fear Nocturna, Jesse Selka, Real Radion Demon, Charlie Magna POH, Wolp3T3, The British Alley, William Wretched, Halo Angel 212, Meyer 8934001, RP Girl 8, Shitposting 31, Mitaki Kozakura, Matcha Martian, The Ferret Baby, Hasbeen Phase, Cosmic Brownie, Kath the Chan, Holy Corruptions, Danny Draw 666, Hell Ghost Roy, and Hell Ghost 29. And of course, now Ajax has a new @ which is AALMeow. So, with that out of the way, I'd like to give a thank you for a few people. I'd like to give a thank you to Jester for proofreading some things in the script. I was going to have him here, but, yeah, no, plans fell through because he's way too busy and doesn't respond to DMs. And a thank you to Pastel for generally existing, and also creating the document this video is based on, and also, of course, voicing over part of this video. That's the voice you heard earlier. And a thank you to those who have supported Pastel throughout these times. The fact that this situation has caused these many people a lot of grief, like Jester has been caused a lot of grief, Pastel has been caused a lot of grief, those who have been supporting Pastel have been caused a lot of grief. The fact that this has happened, but yet there's a lot of people who are out there to support people, like, there's a lot of people out to support them in light of what happened, it makes me somewhat happy. It gives me hope for our species. But enough of getting philosophical. This has been Quartza, and until next time, leave me alone.